What's up, guys? Working on the Grom today. Doing some freebie mods on it. Kind of show you what's going on. This is stock Grom air filter. This is the lid, which I'll explain the tape in a minute. Something free that you can do if you want to make like a cheapo intake without paying a stupid amount of money for the crappy ones out there that I don't think really add any more power than this thing does. This has, this is the back side of the filter, so towards the engine. It has little plastic welded nubs on it that hold the screen on. Get a nice sharp box knife, cut those nubs off, and take this, which you can see is pretty restrictive, and throw it in the trash. Best thing you can do. And then, you know, clean up your little nub things and clean out all the plastic out of the filter that you make when you cut that off. Then, what I haven't seen anybody do, so I don't know if it's a bad idea or not, but I'm going to try it because this is an old Honda thing that people used to do with like Civics and like small displacement 4-cylinders. With a stock airbox, they drill holes in the lid to help let more air in, because especially on the Grom, and this is where I think it'll make a big difference. On the Grom, if you go and look in the airbox here, so that's the intake for the throttle body. That right there is the only spot where the airbox pulls air from, that little tube right there. And then the filter sits in front of all this stuff, so it comes in, around, through the filter, and in. We're going to bypass that by drilling a bunch of holes in the airbox lid, and so to be able to pull air straight in from the front. Now I am going to drill them with a step bit so I can adjust the size as needed. Sorry, wasp. Anyways, I am going to drill holes in the lid up top, so that's the top side of the airbox where that cross piece is. So that way the wheel can't like kick up water into it or anything weird like that, or less dirt, because doing this, full disclosure, you are going to dirty up your filters faster. So that's one takeaway. This bike hardly gets ridden that much, and it doesn't really get ridden off-road, so I'm not super worried about it getting nasty. But stuff like this, it seems kind of silly. It does sound better. It'll make it sound, you know, like it has an intake. It might net a horsepower, maybe. But honestly, with these little displacement engines, it's kind of a combination of things, drops in a bucket, that add up over time. And then with the correct tune, it ties it all together. And that's when you'll see an overall power gain. So we are going to start doing, I've decided I wanted to mod the Grom. It is my wife's bike, so I bought it for her, so I'm consulting her on what she wants to do, but she's going to let me do all the work on it. We'll definitely do a full exhaust. For sure doing the Kitico clutch cover. Doing oil changes on this thing is a huge pain in the ass. You have to take the whole cover off and take the oil spinner, which is this really stupid design that's supposed to filter the oil, which it kind of really doesn't do anything, but in my opinion. But the Kitico uses little four-wheeler oil filters, and it's just 2 bolts, pull it off, it's got an O-ring, take the filter out, put the new one in, 2 bolts in, so it makes oil changes on this thing super easy versus taking all this off and making a huge mess all over your exhaust, because, you know, the oil drains out straight onto the exhaust when you do that. So yeah, we'll do the full exhaust, we'll do the Kitico clutch cover, probably going to do cam chain tensioner, the Coso oil pump. I'd like to do a cam and 4th bearing support, and then the initial tune on it. So it'd just be the only like internal power modification on the engine side would be the cam, and then everything else is just, you know, super easy bolt-on stuff, and just see where that gets us. I want to do it in steps to see, you know, is it one thing or all of them. My hunch is it's a combination of all of these things to add power to this tiny little engine. It will do 50 miles an hour with a 250-pound person on it. It doesn't like it, but it'll do it. So that'll be kind of fun to test out the big differences they make. So anyways, I'm gonna drill holes in this thing real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so drilled my holes, got them pretty straight and even, which is nice. They're not perfectly straight or even, but they're close. And it'll be behind the fork, so you'll never see it. But you can see we're letting in a lot more air now. Hopefully that improves throttle response a little bit. I know in certain instances you can shift power in a negative direction as far as like where it comes on in the RPM band if you let in too much air. So I don't want to draw. I mean, I'm really just experimenting. I'm not following any guide. My gut says this will increase peak a little bit and maybe slightly better throttle response. So we'll toss it all together real quick and put the bolts back in it and see how it sounds. Be back in a second. All right, so you can see that's kind of what it looks like installed. You can't even tell it's there. Oh God, this light's really blown out my video. Anyways, it's done. It's all back on, filters on it. Now, one thing I forgot to mention that you will need to be cautious of. Obviously, this will let water in. So when you wash the bike, when you're spraying it down with the hose, like spraying that directly would not be good. The intake for the actual engine points down like that from the top, so you would have to fill this spare box full of water before it like really got ugly. But an easy fix for that, if you're gonna wash it, is just put a piece of painter's tape across that, and then you can spray it down all you want. Peel the tape off and you're done. So, or just don't spray it directly like an idiot. So just something you got to remember later on. So if you don't have good memory, maybe don't do this. Also, if it ends up not working out well, I think these lids are like 11 bucks directly from Honda, so they're cheap. I mean, if you ruin it, not a big deal. So let's see how it sounds. It's definitely louder. A lot of induction noise. Cool. Well, as you saw, pretty cool. Sounds like a little mini pit bike now, which is basically what it is, but it's definitely got a little more throat to it, so I don't know if I feel a difference or not. Maybe. It might be placebo, but anyways, it's fun and free. It costs zero money to do this, so anyways, there's your free Twiggy built airbox mod. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.